Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us again for our discussion on the Palace all-inclusive resort brand. We just returned from checking out the beautiful Moon Palace in where? Anybody want to guess where in Mexico we were at on this trip?
Cancun.
Cancun. So, if you've watched any of our other discussions, you know that we actually toured over seven different Palace brand or Palace family resorts, and Moon Palace is actually where we ended up staying 2 of our nights, and it really is a huge property. With lots to offer between restaurants and amenity activities across the board. Um, so very big. But tonight I'm joined, or today, depending on whenever you watch this, I'm joined by Jeff Bowman, Colleen Gomez, and Jenna Ensign. So, how did we like Moon Palace? Let's just start there before we go into anything. What do you think? What were your initial thoughts and reactions for all inclusive?
It is big compared to the other Palace resorts. Moon Palace is huge.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely I feel like it gives you more of that like Riviera Maya, not hotel zone, like sprawling property, all
Mm-hmm.
inclusive feel. Like it's not the high rise, it's just like this sprawling property of beautiful. It was beautiful. hmm
Yep. Yep.
And
How,
there's so much to do. So like I'm a busybody and going to Moon Palace, there's so much to do. They have the Flow Rider. They've got I don't even know how many resorts. I mean restaurants. They've got so many restaurants. So if you're tired of this one, you go to another one.
yeah. Yeah. So many things there for for families, but as also for couples, right? So,
Yeah.
uh, so 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 if we take the Moon Palace and we break it down, we have three sections. So we have the Nazook section, which is about 713 rooms. We have the Sunrise section, which is about 1,300 rooms, and then we have the Grand, which is that step up with another 1,200 rooms. So in all, we have a total of what I think 3,300 rooms here at this
A lot.
property. A
hmm
lot more, 10 times
Yeah.
as much as the other palace resorts we talked about. So definitely you're going to get away from that boutique feel that you had at Playa Car and Sun, and you're going to step into really just a massive resort type of feel, but spread out, right? Like
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
um, that's a pro and con, right? Like when you're
Right.
talking about going from that small to big, you've got plenty more to offer.
Right.
So
The good thing
yeah,
about it being so spread out too, like it's so spread out, we hardly saw anybody when we were there, right? Like when I was walking around, I may have bumped into a couple of people. It was busy. Like the pool was busy, but like walking to and from our room to like the lobby or wherever, I hardly saw anyone, which was great. But they have golf carts that take you where you need to go. So they have these carts where they have like little bus stop almost like cart stops, and then they'll have the colored number of where you want to go or
yeah,
colored letter, and then you'll choose and they can take you back and forth. So if you have somebody with mobility issues, you just need to be able to get them from your room to the golf cart station, and then they can take you wherever. So that's always a pro.
yeah, absolutely. Not only plenty of activity, but plenty to eat, plenty to drink, right? So
Yeah.
we're talking multiple bars, we're talking multiple restaurants, and don't forget again, Palace, we've got that 24-hour room service, no different here. So you still have all that at your fingertips for that all inclusive.
Right.
Multiple areas to get coffee. If you're like me, you got to have that in the mornings. Crepes. I think we had coffee and crepes one morning. Thanks, Jenna. Jenna picked
You're
up
welcome.
crepes for us. We're running late, but definitely,
It's so
incredible.
well, talking about Moon Palace Cancun, they have so at Sunrise and Nizook, when you stay at Moon Palace Cancun, that's Sunrise or Nizook, they each have a buffet. So then you can interchange. So like if you're done with El Mangalar for the day, you go to Bougainvillea for the next day. And they have pretty much the same food, but maybe some differences. They also have like a Noir nightclub in one section, they've got the pub in the other section. So like if you're not feeling the vibe of one place, you can go run to the other. They have the wired lounge for kids. They've got these amazing kids clubs. I mean, there are endless things to do there.
Yeah, there's something for everybody for sure. Multi-generational resort is
Yeah.
perfect. That's the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
And that's important, right? Like if you're checking boxes and you want to have a family reunion, let's say you want to do a trip and this is where we're going to go. You want something that grandma's going to enjoy, but you also want
Right.
something that, your youngest is going to enjoy, so it fits, it checks boxes. I mean, golf, you can golf there.
Right across the street. Yeah.
And had we had more time, Jeff and I would have been on that course playing,
Right. And
we would have spent more time looking for balls than anything else. But I think that.
well, and they have, so in talking about that, when you look at these big resorts and these multi-generational trips, like everybody has something that they want, right? Like I'm obsessed with delicious food and a clean room. Like those are the things those are my must-haves. Like I don't need to have a fancy beach. I don't need to have anything but like that. But they have soaker tubs and they've got swim out rooms and they've got oceanfront rooms and they've got budget-friendly rooms. Like they've got so much that is all within this one resort that you can really send these multi-generational and have confidence that they're fantastic there. The rooms are so clean and they each have those soaker tubs.
So I would say, and I would also interject here too, when you're looking again at the different Palace brands or Palace properties in Mexico, whether you're going down to Playa del Carmen, Cozumel, Cancun hotel zone, the great thing about Moon Palace that's going to offer you is it's going to be more affordable in some cases because there's more rooms, which means you're going to have that ability. So if you're stretching a tight budget and you want to do a wonderful all-inclusive family vacation, Moon Palace is where it's at. And
we didn't talk
the sections. Sorry.
It's close to the airport. No, you're fine. Like it's less than a 10 or 15 minute drive from the airport too. So with all this construction in Cancun right now and like traveling back to the airport, we went to a different resort and it was like 5 or 6 hours before our flight home that they took us to the airport because of traffic and the distance and whatever. But Moon Palace Cancun, it was like, we're there. It's like right around the corner. You're right there.
And you left midday, right?
Right. We left. Oh, actually, I think we left at almost 2:00. So right closer to so the later in the day it gets, the more traffic there gets there is what they've told us and what we experienced. But we waited less than 15 minutes in traffic, so less than 30 total travel. It wasn't even bad. I didn't even realize we were at the airport when we got there. That's how close it is. Also, kids and teens stay free at Moon Palace Cancun. That's kind of their running promotion right now. So if you've got a room of 4 and 2 of them are under 17 and under, then the kids stay free. So that's the perfect way to get all of this fun included.
Yep.
So let's talk about, some differences though, like from what we saw at the other resorts and here, again, bigger, spread out. I think where we were located in the Zook, we were still a good 5-minute walk from the lobby, which isn't bad, right? Like, but it wasn't like we hopped on the elevator, went down 2 floors and we're right there. So you're definitely, it's going to take some time to get around to some of these places versus, going there. Another thing to think about is if you're going to be in need of an elevator, you're going to want to make sure you request a first level floor because those buildings don't have the elevators. So you don't have that access.
I think Sunrise does maybe.
Sunrise and Zook, but just
I don't. Yeah.
What's important to know with these 2 resorts is they're in different sections, and so if you want to be in one section, like the Zook, they say is the only way that you're going to get an oceanfront room. At Sunrise is the only way you're going to get a swim up room. So if there's certain things that you must have, just know that that's exactly what section of the resort you're going to be in. Going back to what you were talking about just a second.
Right.
So, and let's just talk about it because it's here, like really, and correct me if I'm wrong. So really, even though there's 3 sections to Moon Palace, there's really 2 separate resorts, so to speak.
Right.
So we have Moon Palace Cancun, which is going to consist of Nazook and Sunrise. And then we have the Grand.
Right.
So let's park there for a minute. Let's talk the Grand. the Grand is amazing. Tell what
Super luxurious. Yeah.
thoughts about that. What do you think?
The first time I walked in, I felt like I was walking into like a grand Las Vegas hotel or a grand New York City hotel. I mean, you walk in and there's just this beautiful open lobby. You look straight ahead and there's a beautiful yeah, exactly. The bar with just this perfect you know, it's like the oceans, the animals, it's the coral, it's the bubbles of the ocean, the jellyfish. Like it's just very beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna put it full screen again so you can now see it. But yeah, this piece right here, unreal. It's spectacular. It's great.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I would even just camp here for a minute and talk about this is this piece alone, I think, was somewhere in the $600,000 to $700,000 range. And I say that because you're not walking into a cheap lobby. You're walking into a lobby there's money that's been put in here, but you're walking into this and you feel that glitz and that glamour feel that I don't know, that luxury
The grandeur is what you're trying to say. You feel the grandeur.
Yeah.
You feel the grandeur of the grand. Like you walk in and you are so like immediately when you walk in, you get the cold towels, the special drink. They escort you right to the check-in, and then you're like in this lobby, but it's huge. Like it's this great expanse of a lobby, and they've got
Even
the big
bathrooms
lights.
are huge.
Right.
The bathrooms are beautiful. Probably some of the
Right.
prettiest bathrooms I've ever seen.
There was a sitting area in the bathroom with like couches and stuff.
Yeah.
In the men's bathroom. Like,
Oh, and the ladies had like vanities all down. So like you walk in, there's a sitting area, the vanities all down that have your things, and then like I don't know, 20 stalls, if even that little. I feel like there might have been more, but like with so many.
Let's talk about the water park there. I mean,
So
you've got, and this is just one. So you've got the water park there, which is really nice for the kids. Especially, talk about that activity level. And inside the water park, you have the kids club area, which they have an arcade area. They've got a little cart where they make they have the frozen kids treats there.
Right. They've got mini golf, bumper cars.
Bumper cars? Like what?
Yeah. They've got like an water slides. They've got an aerial area where you can like strap in and walk across. I don't know what it's called.
It's a lazy river.
They've got a lazy river. So like within the water park, they have the big slides for the big kids. They've got a small wave pool. They've got a splash pad for the little kids. They've got like a little pirate ship on the end for the littler kids that aren't big enough for the big slides. But when we stayed at the Grand, that is where my kids stayed the entire time. I just want to go to the water park. He could have cared less about anything else. There's a million pools there too. So he just wanted to go to the water park.
Let's talk about the pools real quick. Obviously, this is one of the things that, again, you don't have a lot of pool in the other resorts. That's one thing you do sacrifice by going down to that smaller resort. That's not the case here. Big, massive pools that you have.
And lots of them too.
Swim up bar.
And if you stay at the Grand, you have access to Sunrise and Nizook also. So like if you get bored at the Grand pool, which I don't know how you ever would, then you go head over to the other two. And but yeah, and they also have a unique day club at the Grand. It's an adults only pool.
And let me see if I can, I'm going to pull up another multimedia here for us. So,
the big kicker is, so like if you stay at Moon Palace, Nizook or Sunrise, if they're allowing day passes to the water park, you can purchase a day pass. I think it's $100 a person per day. So if you're concerned about, not even concerned, if you're wondering about the water park, then like staying at the Grand is definitely worth it if you plan to be there more than 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
Included in your stay at the Grand.
Right. Right.
Honestly, if you're going to do a split stay like this, that'd be a great place to do it because you're not moving far, right? Like,
right.
You don't have to do your whole stay at the Grand if you don't want to, but if you want that nicer feeling for part of your vacation, definitely. And I would say, and I hope everybody else would probably agree with me, because this is kind of the same when we even talk about Disney or anything else. You want to move up. You don't want to move down.
Yes.
So if you're going to do a split stay, definitely don't go to the Grand first and then move down because
No.
it'll just, you'll,
I mean,
yeah.
the rooms at the Grand are also larger. So the room we stayed in at Moon Palace was big, and there were 2 double beds, and they had the single soaker tub. But then when you move up to the Grand, you've got the 2 double beds, the double soaker tub, and then we had enough room for a twin size rollaway without having to walk around anything. Like, it's that big at the Grand. So you really are moving up to a larger room and a better, I won't even say better, but like more amenities. You've got access to the library, which I just saw Jesse pulled up, which is the
Yeah.
adult only speakeasy. You can't find it anywhere. You just have to tell them you like to read. The bowling alley. What else is there that I'm missing? Jade, my favorite restaurant.
The giant wired arcade lounge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Not
I
for
mean,
kids. I mean, for us. I mean, like adult
Yeah.
kids, small kids. There's something in there. I think Jeff and I enjoy. We did a motorcycle game in there. I mean,
That's at the kids club.
yeah.
You guys did that in the kids club.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Fun.
what's great though, is like, again, going back to that multi-generational, it's like the kids club is for the whole family. You see families and they're having a good time, not just the little kids in the little play area, which some of the other more boutique resorts are going to have something for the little ones to keep them entertained, but here it's for everybody.
Yep. So I'm curious, where does the Moon Palace rank on your list of palace resorts? I mean, I know we've talked about, the others and our previous episodes, but what do you think?
For me, I like the smaller feel. I would like to be at the Grand, but if we're just talking the Moon Palace side, I would prefer to be at a smaller resort than the huge Moon Palace, Nizuc or Sunrise.
Yeah. How about you?
I have my perfect trip planned already. I'm going to do 3 days in Cozumel. So I'm going to get off the plane. I'm going to take the the transportation down to Playa Carmen, take the ferry, stay in Cozumel for 3, maybe 4 days. Once I'm tired of relaxing, and I'm going to head to the Grand right next to the airport on my last 2 to 3 days and have fun, experience the grandeur, go to the spa, let my kids play at the water park at the end of my trip, hop right back to the airport, like Jenna said, within minutes. So that's my perfect trip. I do like the moon, don't get me wrong, but I like, want the small intimate feeling for a little bit with my family, and then I'm going to go luxury.
Yep. Jenna, where do you fall? Where does it fall for you?
I can't choose. Y'all are making me like choose my favorite child. Like, I don't know. I would stay at the Grand again. That's where I would stay.
Choosing your favorite child would be easy for you.
It's always going to be deluxe because you have one and you like deluxe.
I mean, it's going to be the Grand for me only because I can go anywhere I want, right? Like if I stay at the Grand, I can go anywhere I want. I can pick and choose where I go for the day. I probably won't leave my resort, and I probably would get another swim up room and hardly leave my room, to be very honest. But that's just who I am as a person. So we'll just go with the Grand because I don't have a better answer for you. I do love Playa Car, but I don't think I would bring my kid to Playa Car because I want to go experience the nightlife on Fifth Avenue. So it's hard.
You mentioned something.
Sorry, go ahead, Jesse.
I was going to say real quick because Jenna just brought up a good point, and I think people that are, if you're watching this and you're planning Palace vacation, if I stay at Moon Palace Cancun, can I go use the amenities over at the Grand?
No, but you can purchase a water park ticket for $99. I think it is the going rate right now.
But you purchase
per person per day
while you're there.
Right, on site if they're available. Right,
Yep.
if they're available. But you can go visit. So, like, if you're at Moon Palace Cancun, you can go visit, let's say, Beach Palace for the day, or Cozumel Palace, or Playa Car. But if you stay at the Grand, you can go anywhere you want.
Yep, exactly.
You can go to any palace resort you want to go to.
Yeah.
So you want to spend a day in Playa Car? Go for it. You want to go take in?
Yeah, and Colleen, you had a question, please.
Yeah. Now, did anybody talk about the food? Like how it's actually made all by hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if we touched on that yet, but everything in all of the resorts is made from scratch. Some of it is even grown on property.
Yeah.
And a very cool fact that I just learned is that they have at Moon Palace is the tractors. They pull in the seaweed and their gas is run off. Jenna, help me out with that fact.
It's like biofuel. So what they do is they take the seaweed. So I was going to mention that too. Moon Palace and Moon Palace the Grand are a huge sprawling resort, right? Like they've got all this beachfront. Their beach itself is stunning. They are in an area that gets seaweed. They did just invest a lot of money in a seaweed barrier. So we had lots of discussion about this, but it's like a blue plastic thing. It goes 1 meter down. It helps collect the seaweed. And then they have boats that go out and harvest the seaweed off of this like extra stuff and off of the 1 meter nets. And so what they do is they take it, they dry it, and they use it as biofuel. They'll use it as fertilizer, or they'll use it to burn fuel around. So like they dry it there and they utilize what they're getting. So it is prone to seaweed. I would say it's more of a pool resort. If you're looking for that crystal clear blue water, Moon Palace wouldn't be where I would send you. It would be to Beach Palace. But that's definitely something to consider. So if you are a pool family, this is your place. If you want to sit on a beach and sip a beverage and look at turquoise waters, this is not your place.
Exactly. Nope.
But you can visit.
Well, you can visit.
Yeah, I mean, overall for me, I mean, I enjoyed Moon Palace, and I would want to stay at the Grand if I did go back to visit and actually to utilize the property if I weren't going to one of the other properties. But definitely fantastic option, right? Like, regardless, you're going to have a fantastic vacation, whether you're staying at Moon Palace, Cancun, or the Grand. But definitely, something to think about when you reach out and definitely, if you're thinking about doing an all-inclusive vacation, and you want help with Palace, definitely reach out to us. You can check out our email down here at the bottom of the screen there. So info@marvelousmousetravels.com. It's completely free to work with an agent. And guess what, Jenna, give them a fact if you do work with a Marvelous Mouse Travel agent.
If you work with a Marvelous Mouse Travels agent, we can get you a free room upgrade, free welcome amenity, and sometimes even early check-in, late check-out, just dependent. But those free room upgrades are clutch.
Yep. Thank you for joining us once again, and make sure to check out some other stuff. We've got a video of Jeff posted out there on our shorts, if you've seen our platforms, where he actually went through the swim-up suite at the Grand. He does a really cool jump out of a window, and he backsplashes into a pool. Fantastic. Go check it out. But thank you for joining us this evening, and until next time, I hope that you have a good rest of your day. Thanks.